Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Hakim, and welcome back to
Critical Conviction.
Sorry for the delay in videos, but good news, we have a logo now. So today's topic I want to talk about: the Bible and slavery. You may have heard one of these things before. I can't follow a God who would condone slavery. And the only reason why black people still follow Christianity is because our slave masters. So before we get started, the word of the day is
Context.
So let's put everything in the proper perspective, okay? First, we have to put ourselves over 2,000 plus years ago. Everyone had slavery. Europe, Asia, South America, and of course, Africa. The way we know slavery today in America is based off of race. In Hebrew culture, it was based off economic status. One could be a slave for paying off a debt, couldn't provide for his family or have the family needs met. And also, more times than not, slavery was voluntary. Slavery was used as a form of servant. You would be a servant or a slave to somebody for 6 or 7 years. After your time, you were free to go, no harm, no foul. In fact, scripturally, slaves back then were given rights. They were still allowed to go to festivals and many other religious-based activities. Now let's get to the word. God never condoned slavery. If we truly think about it, God put rules on slavery because he knew man's heart. Exodus 21:16 specifically speaks on man stealing, or capturing, or kidnapping. Doing this act was punishable by death. So the entire American slave trade in the 16th century, God never condoned it. God never condoned over punishment of slaves either. In fact, Exodus 21:20 and Exodus 21:26 through 27, God speaks on the consequences of abusing your slaves. To get more understanding, Leviticus 25:39 through 55 also puts more rules in the proper context. Earlier I spoke on how you respect slaves and still have to give them rights. Don't think I ain't got scripture for you. Deuteronomy 23:15, Deuteronomy 16:10, Deuteronomy 20:10. Those 3 verses give you more context on how slaves were to be treated and to be respected, and how they still had rights. Now, what some people will tell you is that God condoned slavery by using some of these following texts. They'll use 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 18 through 20. Those verses speak on how you should obey your master. But later on, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 9, speaks on how everybody should treat somebody in authority. So that's whether you're at your job, your parents, your team lead. God commands us to do what's right in his eyes. Let's review, shall we? God never condoned slavery. The American slave trade were not the first slaves. Slavery we know today, based off racism. And 11 times out of 10, it was extremely violent. Slavery back then, based off economic times. More times than not, it was definitely the last resort. Next, always put things in proper context. And this is just food for thought. When somebody has a question about the Bible, 9 times out of 10, they use one verse. Never fall for that trick. Whenever you're reading the Bible, read the chapter in its totality. You need proper context. Figure out what's being said. Remember, Satan was a master manipulator, but he can't trick you if you know what you're talking about. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned. Don't forget, follow my YouTube channel. I now have a Twitter, Instagram coming soon. Follow, like, share, subscribe. Any questions? Leave them in the comments below. All right, catch y'all next time.